Hello guys, and welcome to another live stream news video that we're going to be doing. As you can see on the screen, we are getting a new event in DanMemo which was introduced today. We're getting 6 new units plus a welfare unit and a lot of new features as well, and they are doing some rerun banners as well and a rerun event, and I'll cover everything that's going to happen in the near future here in this video. So hype for that, I guess. In any case, the event that we're getting is the Summer Carnival, Sparkling Summer Carnival, and as you can see, there is a lot of waifus and a lot of swimsuits that are gonna be coming. So we're getting an Ais character, a Lunor character, a Hestia, a Syr, a Haruhime, and the Lena. And then Amit is also gonna be the 4-star welfare unit, the free unit that you can get by just clearing the event. So the Amit isn't going to be something like really incredible, but the other units will be great. And we'll look at the skills. We'll look at the skills both today in this video. Just gonna go through them quickly, and then I am planning to do a live stream today in which I do a unit review for the people that are on the live stream, and then I'll upload that to YouTube as well. So you can go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already to check out the detailed unit review as well. But if we continue on from here, the event will also have a login bonus. This one frankly isn't really that good. It's just a couple of potatoes, some valis, 2 3-star tickets, which is really low compared to what we've been used to just from random retweet campaigns and everything of the sorts. So this campaign is like, it's 70 iris, I guess, is the best thing here, but it's not really anything to be impressed about. And then we do have the banner split here. So the first banner is going to be Gacha banner. The first Gacha banner is going to be Ais, Lunor, and Hestia on one banner, and Lena, Haruhime, and Syr on the other banner. And I am gonna tell you, first of all, I mean, I'm straight up gonna say that this banner with Lena, Haruhime, and Syr is 100% the better one out of the two. And since we've had a lot of iris used for the anniversary, and many of us are really lacking an iris, you might not be able to go ahead and do full 10 pulls on both of the banners. So if something isn't changed, or if my predictions and other people's predictions as well are, sorry for the sound there, are correct, then this banner is going to be the one to go for. And if we look at why, we're just going to go quickly at through the units. I'm not really going to look at the welfare Amit. The only thing that I'm going to say is that she's a healer. She also has buff extension with her skill free, so that's something to use if you don't have the Haruhime that extends buffs and debuffs. It doesn't extend debuffs, but there maybe you can use other units for that. So if you are a free-to-play player and you still don't have anyone who extends buffs for 2 turns, then she is good for you. Speaking of Haruhime, there's a banner for her, a rerun banner coming for her as well, and you can. It's gonna be covered a little bit later in the video. Ais is the next one. She is a water physical unit. She is a war game based unit. She has the AoE resist and single target resist down, and she has water resist minus 35%. That's the thing that I'm gonna mention. It's interesting to me that they didn't do water resist minus 40%, since that's the number that we've been used to for the anniversary. Both wind, light, and earth, and fire, those 4 elements all had a 40% resist reduction, and Ais only has a 35%. So they have stepped it down a little bit, I guess, because it's not the anniversary anymore. Or maybe they had these banners prepared for before the anniversary, because they are kind of in line with the new anime season for the third anime. The first season, by the way, of the anime is coming out in October, if you didn't know. So that's also something. And maybe they had these banners prepared for before that. But if we do look at the units, we'll see that some of them really are great. The units also have Aqua Killer this time, which means that either a Familia Royale or a Familia Rush is going to be coming with Aqua enemies. So that's also something to be on the lookout for. If we move on and we look at the Lunor, she is also a physical water unit. She has also mostly AoE attacks, and then she does have her skill 1 is basically she might fit in a stall team of some sorts, but I'm not sure if she actually ends up making it, because she does have counter rate and heal rate up by 30%, and then she increases magical resist by 35%, and then also does the same kind of things for the enemy team. So she reduces physical resist, counter rate, and heals for the enemy team. So she's kind of a utility unit, more so than a purely damage unit. And she might have some uses here and there, but I don't really know for sure. Next one is gonna be Haruhime. She is also a physical unit, but if I'm not wrong, okay, she's also a water unit. She has higher agility than the first two units that we showed. The Ais, actually, by the way, I forgot to mention, she has really low agility. Yeah, if we look at Haruhime, she is an AoE attacker as well. She has some HP regen built into her. She has extra actions. She buffs the water damage of your allies by 35%. Again, not 40%, even though we aren't really used to 40% elemental buffs. Though her essay does have the 50% water damage up. So she is a good unit, I think, in general, and I think people are more so excited for just getting another Haruhime unit because she is very popular in the game. Again, I will do a more in detail review of all of the units in the next video that's coming out tomorrow and on the live stream today, so you can follow me on Twitch for that. And then the next unit, which I'm gonna talk the most about, I think, is the Lena. And she's actually a light magic unit that's meant for Record Buster and other single target modes, because her attacks are single target. And she is actually, in my opinion, beyond broken, and I think she is the strongest unit out of the adventurers that we're getting for sure. We still have the assist to look at, but out of the adventurers, just purely looking at the power level of the unit compared to other units available in the game for a similar purpose, I'm comparing the numbers that she has to Kotori, for example. She has pretty much the same magic stat as Kotori, 20 lower, 25 lower, which is not much. And then her special attack has the same numbers with 80% plus 80% per each magic buff. And then she also has this light resistance down, minus 50%, which Kotori didn't have. She has additional actions and the same buff for strength and elemental as Kotori had, plus 60% on her skill 1, but then she gets the additional actions, which Kotori does not have. And I'm using Kotori as an example because she's been used a lot, and I mean a lot, in all of the Record Busters and single target modes, just as a strong unit, which deals immense amount of damage. And I'm comparing Lena with her because she has similar numbers, but they're better. That's why I am doing this. She also gains the dexterity, which Kotori doesn't. And as I said, the additional actions, which do, by the way, have critical rate up, ultra critical rate, the additional actions, which is also nice to see. Her skill 2 has a magic resist and light resistance debuff, minus 35%, so she debuffs her own resistances and buffs her own elemental damage, which means that she can be put into pretty much any team. You don't need to use light support for her. She can just fit into any team because she doesn't need anyone to debuff light resistance for her, doesn't need her light damage to be buffed. So she's a great unit to just slam into any team composition, and she is doing great. And then the best thing about her is her skill 3, which if this correct translation is correct, which I'm kind of skeptical about, because if this is correct, the super light magical attack with plus 80% for each self magic buff is Oh no, okay, so it's 100% correct, but it's plus 80% for each self magic's buff, which is higher than what Kotori had, because Kotori had plus 50% for every strength stat and also the super hitting attack. But there is a con to her, I guess. I just noticed this. I didn't notice this before I started recording the video, so I'll be honest about this, but she does remove magic buffs on self, so she does have to reapply skill 1 on her. So she kind of, I guess, has to be a little bit... She can't really spam skill 3 then, because she has... she would lose magic buffs, and without additional magic buffs, the skill 3 would deal less damage. But as it is with the additional actions that she has, she pretty much has to reapply her skill 1 despite anything. So you're not really losing much on as far as damage is concerned, because your rotation is probably going to be skill 1, skill 2, skill 3, and then skill 1 again, or something of the sorts. Basically, you're going to be hitting with a really strong attack every 2 or 3 turns, and then every turn you're going to have the additional action with ultra crit rate, and then her special attack is also going to hit incredibly hard. So she is just really good. She also has light counters, crit damage, penetration damage, everything that you want to have on a high hitting unit. So she is, in my opinion, just the best unit, the best adventure out of what we're getting now. The next unit that we're going to be looking at is the Hestia, which is similar to the Syr that we had in Goddess and Love Songs banner. So she has strength and magic up by 15%, and then water damage up by 20%. And she is definitely good if you don't have a strength or magic buff unit yet. But and the water damage is 5% higher than any other water buff that we have in the game for assists right now. But speaking from my perspective, where I have Hephaestus from the Under Resort banner over the MLB, where she has the 20% magic buff and 15% water damage buff, and also a fire damage buff on top of that, she's not really as appealing to me. Her stats are also more so aimed for agility. She doesn't have a high strength or magic stat, so we don't really want to put her on a damage dealer unit as well. So she is definitely useful to have, especially if you don't have... I'm gonna say the same thing I said about the Syr, and I ended up being right on that. Just one copy of her is good enough to get the 15% plus 15% water damage buff. And it's pretty much the same as Syr, so it's my opinion on it. Just one copy is enough, because you don't want to spend too much on the banner with her, because the other 2 units aren't as great as the other banner. So yeah, she's good, definitely. She's pretty much if you want to look at how good she will be, you look at the Syr assist that came out in the Goddess's Love Songs banner, because the only change was, instead of water damage, we had light damage. Anyways, moving on to the Syr of this event. Speaking of Syr, she is pretty much the same as Hephaestus of Under Resort, which, compared to the previous support we talked about, the Hephaestus is actually a top tier support, because she has a magic plus 20%, and then she has light and wind is what the Syr has, plus 15%, and then she also has a really high magic stat, so you want to actually put her on your damage dealers, your magic damage dealers, and the 15% is pretty much the highest for light and wind damage right now. And especially on the EU server, we have been lacking a wind damage buff assist, so that's also a great thing to have. Of course, we do have a better light buff actually on the Syr, that we talked about previously, but this assist is really good to have at MLB or even at the lower level for the 15% magic buff and the 10% light and wind damage up. So yeah, that's quick. It's probably didn't end up being quick because there's a lot of units that I went through, but that's the quicker version of the unit review. Also, another thing we're getting is the 1000 Iris login bonus, which is awarded to us because of over 20 million downloads worldwide. And it's gonna look like this. So the first day 200 and then 200 once more along the midway. So 1000 Iris altogether, which is definitely really nice because everyone's lacking Iris right now, at least most of us. Another thing that's gonna be introduced or reintroduced is the new generation's Pop Stars event. And the units, the idle units are actually getting buffed. Apparently nothing has been mentioned for the Elfets, so the Bilvis and Lefia. Okay, I needed some time to remember her name there. So yeah, the Bilvis and Lefia weren't actually mentioned, so we'll see if they end up getting buffed too. But I think the other 3 units got mentioned and they will be getting buffed. So we'll see how much the buff actually happens, and I'll probably make a video on that to give my thoughts on that too. The Hermes is also, because the event is gonna be rerun, so it's more Iris, and then for example on the EU server where we didn't have the event yet because the event happened I think just before the start of the European server, we're also able to get the Hermes assist. And what Hermes assist does, if you don't know, he is at MLB, and everyone's gonna have him MLB because you get him from the story. At MLB he gives a 10% fire buff, a 10% light buff, and a 10% crit rate buff. So if you're missing any of those, he's a great unit to just put in your team and use. Unless, of course, he gets buffed too, but I don't know about that. I would assume he won't, because he's a free unit, but it could happen. So because Season 3 is coming out, they are also doing the Season 2 gacha reruns. So basically, there will be 3 banners which feature the Season 2 units. I mean, the units that came out when Season 2 was getting released. And each of the 3 banners will have a free 11 draw that you can do on them. And then there will also be a banner so you can summon on the units if you're missing some or want to MLB some. And the schedule for this is the part 1 will happen in a couple of days, and then 1 week after that and 2 weeks after that is when the next banners will be introduced. The first banner has Apollo, has Outside the Rario Ais and Cassandra, and both of the assists, pretty much the Ais and the Apollo, are really useful. And if you don't have them yet or want to MLB them, this might be worth to go for, unless they obviously power creep them soon with releasing new units. Then we have the Ares, Ishtar, and Aisha banner, and this is what I'm probably gonna be going for because I want Ares MLB. So Ares is probably the only really good unit right now still from this banner. And then for everyone that doesn't have Haruhime, this is great news for you because you're able to summon on this banner. And also I didn't mention this yet, but you can do 10 steps on these banners. Probably you can overpull, but I definitely don't recommend you to overpull. But you have a guaranteed pull on, a guaranteed 4-star from the banner on the 2nd, 4th, 6th, 8th, and 10th pull. And then each of the pulls in between only cost 200 Iris instead of 400 Iris. So if you if you have enough Iris to try and get some units that you're still missing from these, it's definitely worth it. And this banner has Haruhime, which is an exceptional adventurer used in pretty much every composition, almost every composition outside of Wargame. And then you have the blue dress Hestia, which is also a good support for stall units. We are also getting 2 new functions, one of them being a party duplication function and another one being skip special arts animation as an option. Both are obviously really nice to have, although I'm not sure how much people are going to use this. I'm guessing if you want to try out the team you've been seeing in Wargame, you can go ahead and just copy the other player's party and save them to your party. So that's something, I guess, that we can use. And then also the skip special animation art, because I know a lot of people have been annoyed a little bit when special art animations take really long to go through. So if you don't like seeing special art animations all the time, you can disable them in settings apparently, and that's gonna reduce the time it takes for you to grind events, for you to finish your battles, wargame battles. I think if this works in wargame battles, especially the ones that go to 15 turns, then I might disable this as well, because 15 turns wargame is quite a thing when you're playing stall versus stall. So we're also getting another special daily 100 Iris sale, and if you're planning to spend on the game, then this is pretty much the best deal you're going to get. It's not much better than the deals that happened during Anniversary, where you could pick up the 400 or 1600 Iris, but it looks like for how many days? For like a week and a little bit. So from the 25th of September to the 2nd of October, you're gonna be able to pick up 100 Iris every day. And I think they want you to pick this up so that you can use the Iris on the season free banners or units that are gonna be getting released as the anime is coming out, because the anime is going to start releasing in the start of October. There's also a season free coming soon special autumn box, and it includes time limited Unix exchange ticket, an adventure ticket, an assist ticket, and 2 guaranteed 11 draw tickets, 4-star guaranteed. So I guess if you're still missing some units, this is okay, but I generally don't recommend you to really get this. The countdown login bonus is what we've talked about with the 1000 Iris that's available if you log in every day, so definitely make sure to log in. And here's the overview of the campaigns that we talked about. So nothing new, we've talked about everything. Yeah, we have. There's also bundles, like pretty much every event. Every event pretty much has bundles as well if you want to whale on them. You pretty much know this already. Record Buster is going to be an ultra Record Buster this time, with wind, which I'm not sure what this means as far as resistances are concerned, but we'll have to see. I don't really know which resistances they would put, other than maybe a light resistance down, because the Lena is light, or maybe that's gonna come the next Record Buster, but I'd imagine one of the next 2 Record Busters at least is gonna have a light weakness so that Lena can get used. 7 zone obviously as every week, and then here's the events that are ending. So if you haven't finished any of these events, definitely make sure to go ahead and do them. You can receive Iris before the okay, so yeah, there's also the 1000 Iris that's been given out when Extra Story was implemented. So if you haven't logged in, just make sure to do it. And here's the schedule for when the things are going out. So the gachas for the new banners are coming out on the 10th of September, and the 11th of September is when the login bonus starts, and also the 200 million downloads login bonus, and also the 11 draw, the first rerun banner for the season 2 anime units. So yeah, that's gonna conclude the news video here. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like a subscription and maybe a comment on YouTube because it helps me out. As I said, I am going to be making a detailed unit review for all the new units as well, and I might stream that on Twitch today, so make sure to follow me there. You can also join our Discord. The link to that will also be in the description. So thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!